Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, my name is Wafir. Before we start the presentation, I would like to say that it's an honor for us to be a presenter at the international journal organized by the Borobudur International Symposium 2024. And on this occasion, I will present our research with the title is Effect of Adding Ethanol to Candlenut Seed Biodiesel-Pertadex Mixture on Diesel Engine Performance and Emission. With the first author is Wafir STMT, and the second is Dr. Insinyur Andi Sanata STMT, and the third is Dr. Insinyur Agus Triono STMT. We are from Department of Mechanical Engineering, Faculty of Engineering, University of Jember. Our research consists of 4 chapters. The first is the background, and the second is the research methodology, and the third is the research results, and the last is the conclusion. Okay, let's continue with the background of our research. Currently, the use of biofuel has been widely developed. One of them is biodiesel. Biodiesel is used as alternative diesel fuel mixture. Biodiesel is the result of converting vegetable oil produced through the trans-esterification process. The use of biodiesel has several advantages, one of which can be made from renewable raw material which are abundantly available and whose availability can be controlled. And the use of biodiesel is also environmentally friendly because it can reduce the negative impact of fossil fuel combustion emission that can affect human health and the environment. However, the use of biodiesel also has obstacle. That is the high nitrogen oxide emission produced and also the use of biodiesel increased fuel consumption. To overcome this issue, several previous studies have added fuel additive with high oxygen content, such as ethanol, and analyzed their effect. Ethanol is an oxygenated fuel with high heat of vaporization, and high oxygen content can reduce NOx and particulate emission. And next, on the research methodology, we use the experimental study. For research schemes, as in this picture, diesel engine with the Yanmar brand is connected to the generator with the Wafir brand using a belt transmission. The testing first began by inserting fuel into the fuel tank and starting the engine. And then the generator output is give alarm load of 1000 watt and connected to a voltmeter and amperemeter. And then set the engine speed and measure it with a tachometer. And then carry out data collection. The resulting voltage and current will be processed into effective power, and then measuring fuel consumption time using a stopwatch. This data is then processed into specific fuel consumption. And then measure the emission content using a gas analyzer connected to the diesel engine exhaust. And the last, repeat this step for its fuel variation and engine speed variation. Furthermore, the results of the biodiesel characteristic test are shown in this table. All test results value have met the standard biodiesel value based on SNI 7812 2015. And then the results of the fuel mixture characteristic test are shown in this table. We can see that along with the addition of ethanol to the B40 fuel mixture, the density, viscosity, and flash point values decrease. Meanwhile, the caloric value increase with the addition of ethanol to the B40 fuel mixture. And then for the zeta number, all the mixture increase from Pertadex. And this characteristic will affect the performance of diesel engine. And the next, the effective power results are shown in the following graph. In the first graph, we can see that the higher the engine speed, the more the effective power value increases. This is because the higher the engine speed, the greater the consumption of fuel and air entering the combustion chamber. If fuel and air consumption is increases, the faster the crankshaft rotates, the more power is produced. And then the second graph, we can see that the effective power value produced by all fuel mixture increases compared to when using B0 fuel. This is because the B40 fuel mixture has a high flash point of 98 degrees Celsius, resulting in better combustion. While the E10B40 and E20B40 fuel mixture, although they have a low flash point, have a relatively low viscosity and high caloric value. And next, the torch results are shown in the following graph. In the first graph, we can see that torch value increases as the engine speed increase. This is because the higher the engine speed, the more fuel will be compressed, resulting in greater thrust on the piston and greater torque. And in the second graph, we can see that the torque value produced by all fuel mixture increases compared to when using B0 fuel. The high caloric value of the E10B40 and E20B40 fuel mixture increase the torque produced compared to using B0 fuel. The high caloric value will also make the torque produced high. In the B40 mixture, our torque has a lower caloric value than other mixture. It has a high flash point which produces higher power so that the torque produced by the engine also increase. And next, the specific fuel consumption results are shown in the following graph. In the first graph, we can see that the higher the engine speed, the lower the specific fuel consumption value. This is because the higher the engine speed, the better the fuel consumption, because almost all the fuel is burned perfectly into effective power. However, in the E20B40 fuel mixture, specific fuel consumption increases at high engine speed of 2100 rpm. This is because the flash point is too low. In the E20B40 fuel mixture, it is 28 degrees Celsius, so that the fuel burns earlier, which will cause detonation and reduce engine performance. In the second graph, we can see that the lowest specific fuel consumption was produced when using E10B40 fuel. This is because this fuel mixture has the highest caloric value among other fuel mixture. And next, the thermal efficiency results are shown in the following graph. In the first graph, we can see that the higher the engine speed, the thermal efficiency values continues to increase. This is because the higher the engine speed, the more work steps are needed so that thermal efficiency increases. However, in the A20B40 fuel mixture, specific fuel consumption decreases at high engine speed of 2100 rpm. This is because when using A20B40 fuel at high speeds, the effective power value produced is low, but the fuel consumption consumed is high. And then the second graph, we can see that the lowest power is produced when using E10B40 fuel. This is because it has the lowest specific fuel consumption, because more fuel is converted into effective power in the combustion process. And next, the nitrogen oxide emission results are shown in the following graph. In the graph, we can see that the addition of ethanol to the fuel mixture can significantly reduce nitrogen oxide emission. The high oxygen content in ethanol supports the reduction of nitrogen oxide emission. Ethanol contains about 34% oxygen content. This is also because with the addition of ethanol, the flash point value of the fuel decreased significantly. And next, the carbon dioxide emission results are shown in the following graph. In the graph, we can see that the adding ethanol to the fuel mixture can reduce the percentage of carbon dioxide emission. This is because the viscosity of the fuel mixture with the addition of ethanol becomes low. Next, the opacity results are shown in the following graph. In the graph, we can see that the adding ethanol to the fuel mixture reduces the opacity produced by the engine. This is because ethanol and biodiesel fuel do not contain sulfur, so that the opacity produced is more environmentally friendly. And the last, the conclusion, our research on the diesel engine performance, that is the best effective power is produced by B40 fuel of 723.68 watt, an increase of 12.85% compared to Pertadex. And the second, the best torque is produced by B40 fuel of 3.761 Nm, an increase of 13.71% compared to Pertadex. And the third, the best specific fuel consumption was produced by E10B40 fuel of 492.19 grams per kilowatt hours, and decrease of 30.06% compared to Pertadex. And last, the best thermal efficiency was produced by E10B40 fuel of 14.725%, an increase of 38.88% compared to Pertadex. And then on the emission, the lowest of NOx emission were produced by E10B40 fuel of 139.5 ppm and decrease of 27.18% compared to Pertadex. And the second, the lowest carbon dioxide emission were produced by E10B40 fuel of 1.3% and decrease of 13.23% compared to Pertadex. And the lowest gas opacity was produced by E10B40 fuel of 2.1% HSU and decrease of 80.61% compared to Pertadex. So we have presented all the contents of our research, and you have any question, you can ask us in the comments below. So I would like to say thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.